G'day, Ben from Melbourne here, and today I'd like to put in my entry for JT's Record Corners competition celebrating him reaching 1,000 subscribers. Amazing effort to have that many people follow your channel. Fully deserved. Such a great guy who has left some kind words in the comment section of some of my vids, and gave me a shout out on one of his shows, which is really cool. And he regularly touches base, and as you've probably heard from other videos, he's a really well-loved character in the VC. That's right, I'm wearing a cap today, which I don't normally do, but that is in honor of the great Garner from Born Out of Time, who I just finished up earlier doing a live stream with him, which was what we called our garage punk rock smackdown, which was really great fun, getting to have a chat with Garner about all things garage and garage punk. The man has an amazing collection. He talked about Australian stuff and I talked about US stuff, so we sort of flipped it a little bit. I'll leave a link down below so you can watch the old bull smack me down with his great collection. But we had a great time anyway. It was really, really good fun, and he's such a great fella, Garner. Check his channel out. He's has some of the most amazing 7-inches you'll ever see. Right, without further ado, I'll get into the contest for JT. The rules were choose a record from 3 different genres or subgenres. There was also a question: show a newer record you've been listening to, and show a guilty pleasure. So I'm going to start with Australian stuff, of course. These guys, Suburban Cracked Collective, these guys are called. Now, this is like the experimental improvisation, synths, tape loops, sound collages. Not as challenging as that probably sounds. It's really quite listenable and ambient, and really interesting record. It says on his site that there's live percussion, stringed instruments, and sort of sparse electronics, and that kind of sums it up really well. Really enjoy this record. There's the back cover there, and nice labels as well. Pretty cool. So, if you didn't catch it the first time, Suburban Crack Collective with the album Private Failings. Alright, next we're going to go into the hard rock psych of Sun God Replica. Check out that cover. Amazing. Cool back cover too. Now, if you don't already recognize that guy in the middle, that's Link Meaney, or Link Mcclellan, as he's otherwise known to his mother. Maybe not Link, I'm not sure of his first name. But anyway, he's of course famous for being the driving force behind the great Australian punk rock band, the Meanies, which have been going since the early 90s, and he's also been in a ton of great bands like the Bakelite Age and the Bread Makers as well. But this is very much in that sort of hard rock psych, big riffs in there, and kind of vocals are in some ways reminiscent of that British Invasion style harmonies over the top of these big riffs. It's quite an interesting, hard rock psych record, and thoroughly worth your time. It's called Granular Fever, not Glandular Fever, but Sun God Replica. It's a nice sort of lyrics, bit of blowing up jazz going on there. On the red vinyl, on it's actually Spooky Records. So that's for the genre of hard rock psych. So last up of the three genres, I'm going to go with the great Lost Ragas. This is Matt Walker's band. He used to play in a duo, Matt Walker and Ashley Davies, which were all played around Melbourne for a long, long time. This is fantastic stuff. It's sort of country rock with a tinge of the psychedelic. Beautiful pedal steel throughout this album. And really, really tasteful stuff. It's a great Sunday morning record to put on, or a late night record. Pretty cool back cover on that one as well. There we go. And this one is on Stovette Records, I think that says. And so here's the labels. Got the Runway on there and on side B. Pretty cool stuff. And show us a newer record you've been listening to. So this is a new Australian band. This actually came out last year, but I've only just recently got it. This is called the band's called Screensaver, and the album is EOI. And I had a bit of a listen to this lately. It's definitely got that post-punk, new wave, synth-driven thing going on. It's got members from Exec and the band Low Tide in this, so pretty good pedigree. It's got that icy post-punk new wave sound, great stuff. Well put together and produced, good, really, really interesting album. And it's definitely I think it'll be a grower the more I get into it, and I'll find more in there. But Screensaver with EOI. There's the back cover there. And Heavy Machinery and Upset the Rhythm put this one out, which I'm sure you've heard of Upset the Rhythm before. Great label. That's the inners. Yeah, and quite nice on the labels. I like this. There we go. Okay, the last category is show a guilty pleasure. Now, if it truly was a guilty pleasure, you wouldn't be showing it at all. There seems to be a lot of people quite happy to show their guilty pleasures out there on these videos, which I find quite funny. Because if it truly was, you'd have it under lock and key and it would never come out until the house is empty, and you'd play it on headphones only, so there's no chance of anyone hearing it. So for me, I'm going to pick something which I wouldn't truly say is a guilty pleasure, but it is, I know, a bit daggy, and I don't know, some people kind of dig it. But yeah, it was definitely top 40 Australian rock with Australian Crawl's Sirocco. I'll probably get a bit of flack for saying this is a daggy, maybe a guilty pleasure record, but it might have to do with me why I find it like that is because a lot of these songs were hits in the 80s, and it was part of that pub rock scene, which hasn't aged too well in a way. But these are actually quite catchy songs, and it's got that 80s sheen over the top of what's probably a pretty decent live rock band, but for some reason they go for that production back then in the 80s, which it's just too glossy for me. But it does have some pretty cool songs. Things Don't Seem's pretty rockin'. Lakeside's a good one, and Errol. So yeah, and it's an old gatefold in there. And I think this is an Australian EMI one, so you can see that there, and I think there's a little Australia over there on the side to indicate that. So Australian Crawl with Sirocco, not the coolest album in my collection, but yeah, definitely enjoyable. So that were my picks for JT's competition. I'll leave a link below So you can check his channel out. He's got a fantastic channel. How he finds some of the records he does for just $1 in thrift shops is amazing. And of course, I'll also leave a link to Garner from Born Out of Time and my chat about garage punk rock. Thanks for watching. Take care.